So the first one is the regular dip powder. You need to shape the nail first. The preparation is the key. You need to push back your cuticle and cut off any excess cuticle. And now we already do that step. But remember, when you do on your nails, you just need to follow our original tutorial. So we're gonna just shade the nails as your desired style. From the middle to the corner. Use the file. And use another file to remove any oil and shine from the nail plate. And don't forget the critical area. It's really important part when you use the file off any ridges in your nails. And use the soft side to reduce the scratch on the nail plate. So every time remember, do the filing is really important and smooth up the nail edge. Take off any dust. So now we're gonna use the balm. If you have one in your house, you could use that balm to remove any dust or oil and to let the nail beds get dry. So this part is important too. It could make your nail bed get dry and the powder will be more stick with it. So now we're using our GHDip, the regular dip powder, the old formula. You need to first shade the powder and use the nail tips or any stick to stir the powder to avoid the powder sticking together. Then you don't have any problems of the powder nails get bumpy. So now we're gonna use the base, number 1 base. When you open our number 1 base, you could check that the flow of the glue is good, you see, and without caking. And it's super easy to apply. And now we're gonna apply the first layer. Thin layer from the middle left to the right. And make brush evenly. And pay attention 45-degree angle to dip into the powder. And let the powder totally absorb with the dip glue. Just stay for a second. And tap off any excess powder. As you can see, we already finished the first layer. Tap off any excess powder, use the brush. And now we are going to apply the second time of our base. When you first brush on the nail plate, you can see the flow of our dip glue base is good and the powder will not easily move with the dip glue. From the left to the right. Every time just apply evenly, so then you won't be with any problems. And dip into the powder for a second layer. Let your fingers stay for seconds and take out your fingers. Tap off the excess powder. As you can see, we're gonna tap off the excess powder. So now if for the regular dip powder on the market, you need to use the activator now. For the activator to make the powder get dry, this part you need to use the activator to apply on the nails evenly, very thin layer, because the activator is the volatile liquid. So now we are going to wait the powder totally dry. And around 30 seconds, it will get totally dry. So let's wait for the nail plate get dry. Then we need to fire off any bumpy place. So let's wait around 30 seconds if you're using our activator. It's still faster than other brands dip glue. So we're testing the powder whether it get dry. If it dry, we are gonna to fire off any place uneven. So we confirm the powder already dry, we just do the file. And this part we need to grind in the powder more smooth on the nail plate. And if you apply a little bit more the glue on your critical area, so this part you could use the file to remove. Don't forget the critical part, because sometimes the powder will be easily chewed off or lifting from the critical area. When you fire the critical parts, just put your file at 45-degree angle and it won't scratch your critical skin. So now we are going to fire off any unlumpy, bumpy place and reduce the scratch on the nail plate and smooth up the nail edge. And let your fingers with fine shape. And brush off any dust from the nails. So we're going to use the activator again. And this part, the activator is used for letting the top coat get dry and shiny. So if for the regular dip powder, you need to use the activator for two times. Now we're going to use our top. For the top, you still need to use the 2 times too. And we apply the first layer from the middle left to the right. Very thin layer and brush evenly. So the critical part is here. As you can see, the surface is getting a little bit matte. Half dry, but still sticky. We're going to apply another layer on. And this layer, you could apply much more than the first layer. And from left to the right, don't forget the nail edge. This part to prevent your nails cracking from the nail edge. So must take care of this part. So we're going to wait the top coat get dry. If using our dip glue kit with the good quality dip powder, the regular dip powder, actually the top coat could be dried around 1 minute. So for this part, you cannot touch the nail plate. If you want the top coat more shiny, you just wait it dry for around 1 minute. Because if you put it, your fingerprints will be on the nails. As you can see, the top coat is really shiny. And we just need to wait dry. Okay, we are gonna to test it, whether it's dry or not. Okay, we use the nail tips to test. And you can see the top coat already dry and super shiny if you're using our dip glue kit with the good quality regular dip powder.